Are you feeling pretty nervous about the economy? What's going on with the economy? What's going to happen? How it's affecting you? How it's affecting your loved ones? How it's affecting people that you know, your coworkers? Well, if you're feeling that way, you are not alone because people are really wondering what is going on with the economy. They feel like the economy is shaky. Yes, a lot of people are feeling like the economy is shaky. So I put this video together because I was thinking about, the concerns that people have relative to the economy, what's going on, and, people are, getting laid off, people are resigning from positions, things are changing in terms of restructuring and all of that without getting into any of the politics of it all, because that's not what this video is about. This video is meant to encourage you. I am a born optimist. I can't help it. I'm just an optimist. And I know that I don't want anybody to say, well, you're sitting there probably sitting pretty well. I'm not sitting that pretty. But, I want to have some words of encouragement for individuals who are feeling really anxious, concerned, worried about what's going on with the economy. So I put this video together because I want to give individuals a sense of HOPE, hope. Cannot give up hope. Cannot give up, in my humble opinion, faith that everything is going to be okay. I think back, as you can see, I'm African American, mixed race, but African American by identity. And if we go back in history with my ancestors, I mean, things were absolutely horrible then. I mean, slavery. We're talking about slavery, bondage, being enslaved. And I know some individuals at that time thought, "Oh my goodness, why was I born during this period?" But I'm saying that to say that we can get through it. We can get through it, whatever it is. But I want to suggest too that you have a game plan. So I've always been the kind of person, I'm always looking around for opportunities. Even when I've been secure with jobs or whatever, I'm always looking around to see what I can do for myself, or what's trending, or where can I make more money. So I don't ever want to just I've never been the kind of person just sit still and just say, okay, everything is all good, because from moment to moment, even under the best of circumstances, things can happen. Consequences can come about that's not necessarily seen as positive for you. It could be deemed as challenging. So that's what this video is all about. So what I want to suggest that we do is think about, because I know that we have values. Each one of us has a certain value that we bring. When you get to a certain age of maturity, and certain experiences, you have a degree of experience, training, certifications, passion, just any innate talent. We all have those on some level. And so what I want to suggest is that we start thinking about what else can we do. Say if you have that 8 to 5, but you're not certain, how things are going to shape up for you. This is the time, if not yesterday, to start thinking about and putting a plan into action for ways that you can make money. Not just, it's great if you get laid off, you're going to get unemployment, hopefully. But no one wants to just sit around just collecting unemployment, because eventually that's going to run out. So what I want to suggest that you do, if you haven't started already, is to make a list of all your talents and abilities and training and skills and interests and passion, and start looking around to say, well, how can I make some money from this? It doesn't mean you go in and tell your supervisor off and or and say, I'm out of here. No, we're not talking about that. I'm basically saying you don't want to get caught blindsided. You don't want to get caught like, okay, you go to work on Monday and they tell you, pack your stuff, pack your, this is your last day. So, if you're feeling like the economy is shaky, then don't just sit there and wait until it just shakes, just shake you loose. But get busy because believe it or not, there's still ways to make money. And I'm retired. I have my master's in education. I taught for many years adults, and I would still be there, but they closed the school and money, budget, and all of that. But I am a senior. I'm a senior. I have grandchildren. I have adult children who are happily married. I'm grateful for that. Beautiful grandchildren, 7 grandchildren. But guess what? I just got a new job. I just got a new job. They asked me in the interview, well, how long do you want to keep working? They didn't ask me my age, but I said, until the wheels fall off. I said, I have a lot of talents and abilities and experience and interests and passion. And I want to be of service. I want to share that with individuals who could benefit from whatever it is that I have to offer. And for you, I can't, there's so many skill sets and talents and abilities and certifications and training and just innate abilities that you could tap into to make money. And I'm not saying you would just start making money overnight, but you want to start putting something in place, so yeah, this is some challenging times, but like I said, I want you to feel a sense of hope. Just start thinking about, well, what else can I do just in case? Just in case. I want to start shoring up my finances or having a side hustle. My dad, may his soul rest in peace. Of course, he wasn't living during this time, but that man, he always had something going on. He worked for the Oakland A's in his 80s, and he was retired and living well. But he always wanted to have that side hustle, that extra money. He could, do whatever he wanted to do with it without a strain. He worked there until he couldn't work anymore. May God rest his soul. But he wanted to get up and go. And I guess he's kind of rubbed off on me because I want to get up and go. And I do get up and go. So this is basically why I put this video together, so you can start thinking, if you haven't started thinking about it already, not just sitting up angry and protesting. That's, if you want to do that, that's fine. But when you come home at the end of the day, when you open your refrigerator and you look in your cabinets, you want to have food in there. And there are ways to make money still, even with a shaky, what you may deem as a shaky economy. There's still money to be made. You might have to unearth it a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but there's still money to be made. Like I said, I just got hired. I went for an interview, and I was going for a second interview, and I had to tell them I can't come for the second interview because I just got hired at a company I went to interview for that same week when I went for the first interview at the company that wanted me to come back for the second interview. And then, you won't believe this, I was on my computer and my phone rings, and they asked for me, and I said yes. And he said, well, I wanted to invite you for an interview. This is another position I had applied for. And I said, well, I really appreciate that opportunity. However, I have just accepted a position with another company that I interviewed for. He said, oh, I looked at your resume and I'm very impressed. Would you please take down my name and number in case something goes awry with that position? I'd love to talk with you about, any possibilities that we may have with our organization. And I'm not in my 20s. I'm not in my 30s. I'm not in my 40s. I'm not in my 50s. I'm not in my... But my point is, I'm not, people say, oh, well, that's good for you. But no, it could be good for everybody. It could be good for you too. So stay hopeful. Stay hopeful, through it all. It's like being on a roller coaster, and, you just want it to level off. But right now, it just might feel like a roller coaster. but don't give up. Just, know and tap into those talents and abilities that you have been blessed with. That's why people are coming to this country. People are trying to, any way they can, hook and crook to get to this country because it's the land of opportunity. It still is. Even though we got some challenging times right now, it's still the land of opportunity. It really is. So I have a lot of videos on how to make money. I put my heart and soul into this because I'm in it with everybody else, and anything I can share for hope, to provide hope, to provide insight on whatever, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put a video together and in hopes that you will listen. And by the way, my name is Maria, and I'm hoping that you will subscribe. And I want to hear your comments. What is it that you have to say? I will get back with you. What are you thinking? What's going on? So, like I said, my thing is about being optimistic and hopeful, and you might have to dig a little deeper to get to, the gems. But, I got my knee pads on and my boots, my mud boots and whatever else. And I'm not going to let it just, cause me to sit in the house and be woe is me and complaining. That'll get you nowhere. So that's my message. That's the message I have. That's the message that was on my heart to share with you. And I hope it's been encouraging, inspiring. And I want to say, tap into your power. Tap into your knowing. Don't give your power away and say, oh, well, there's nothing I can do. There is something you can do. There's something we can all do.